morning, dear students. Take out your English literature books and turn to page number 115. Today I am going to explain you the story A Game of Hopscotch, that is chapter 12. So children, I want you all to take out your books, turn to page number 115 and be ready with your books. Children, this text is adapted from Tinku at Duliatal by Swapna Datta. Children, the writer Swapna Datta is a children's writer who has published stories in newspaper and magazines for over 40 years. She has also written many books for young readers and has received several awards for her contribution to children's literature. So children, do you know how to play a game of hopscotch? Hopscotch is a fun kids game where players try to get all way across the hopscotch board drawn on the ground. To play hopscotch, draw a hopscotch board on the ground. It looks like a vertical column with 3 single boxes, then a pair of boxes, then alternative sets of single boxes in pairs, and finally a half circle at the end. Each squares are numbered in ascending order. Now each player get a beanbag, bottle cap or token. The player tosses the token on the first square. If the token doesn't fall in the first square, the player loses its turn. If it does land on the first square, that player hops across each box with one leg. This is how the game is being played. Children, A Game of Hopscotch. The adaptation of this text is in the form of play. Children, a play is a dramatic work that is written to be staged in a theater in front of audience. You must have seen dramas performed in a stage or theater in front of lots of audience. So this text is also in the form of play or drama. Okay, so let me introduce you with the 4 main characters in this drama: Tinku, Miri, Shadow and Paro. So children, Tinku is a little girl who lives in a cottage, remote cottage in Duliatal. Duliatal is the name of a place. She lived with her parents and her cousin Paro. So Paro is a cousin sister of Tinku who lives with Tinku. Okay, and Tinku meets a girl while wandering across the hills whose name is Miri. So Miri is a friend of Tinku, and Shadow is the dog of Miri. Shadow is the name of a dog of Miri. Okay, so Tinku and Miri are friends and Shadow is a dog, and Paro is a cousin of Tinku who lives with Tinku at Duliatal. Now let us begin with the story. It is raining and a thick mist is swirling over the hills. Children, mist is a light, thin cloud hanging low over the ground because of rain and cold. It's like a fog that can be seen after a rainfall. And swirling means moving in a twisting pattern. So the mist was moving in a twisting pattern while it was raining. Tinku wonders how long she would be stuck indoors, as she was sick and she was sitting inside her house. Suddenly she hears, "Try some eucalyptus oil. Daddy says it is very good for the cold." Tinku is surprised. She has not heard anyone come in. She turns around to see Miri and Shadow. Miri's shoes are little muddy, and Shadow has left muddy paws marks everywhere in the carpet. Miri apologizes, looking at the carpet, but Tinku says not to worry. She would clean it before her parents return. "They have gone to Nainital," Miri said. Tinku was surprised that how did she knew that her parents went Nainital. Miri said that she heard someone saying this while walking down the hill. Miri pulls out a dainty lace-edged handkerchief out of her pocket. Children, dainty means delicately small and pretty, which has lace at the edge. The handkerchief has a strong smell of eucalyptus oil. Children, eucalyptus is a tree which is mainly valued for its oil, which has medicinal properties. Children, eucalyptus oil is very good for cold. Mary gives it to Tinku. Tinku sniffs the handkerchief and says, it smells nice." Children, sniffs means to breathe in or inhale. So Tinku inhaled the smell of the eucalyptus oil from the handkerchief. Then Tinku asked Mary, "How did you get in? Paro always locks the door when Ma isn't here." Mary replied that Paro must have forgotten to close the door today. Tinku then asks Mary, "Mary, what is your father's name?" No one knew who he was. When I said he is a doctor who visits his patients on horseback, they thought I was joking. Mary says in surprise, "But he is the only doctor here." Tinku laughs and says, "Oh no, Mary, there are many doctors at Dulyatal. There is Dr. Raval and Dr. Bose." And Mary interrupts her and says, "Tinku, do you want to play a hopscotch now?" Tinku sounds interested. "I have never heard of it. Will you teach me?" Tinku said. Mary quickly draws large squares on a carpet, and the two girls start playing, taking turns using Mary's bobby pins. Children, bobby pins are a small hairpin used to hold a hair neatly in a place. So, because they don't have token or coin or bottle's cap, they started playing hopscotch using bobby pin. They used bobby pin as a token. The room was filled with the sound of their laughter. When Shadow suddenly barks softly, Mary hears the sound of hooves and says, "Children, hooves means a horny part of the foot of horse." Mary heard the sound of hooves and she says, "Daddy is back from his visits. Tinku, I must be off." Mary left Tinku's place and went with her dog Shadow. Tinku wants her to stay, but when she turns back, she can't see Mary or her dog Shadow anywhere. Tinku asks Paro to close the door and bring a mop to clean the muddy marks on the carpet before her parents return. Paro walks into Tinku's room and says, "There is no muddy marks on the carpet. You must have fallen asleep, Tinku. You were dreaming." Paru said that she had locked the door in the morning when Tinku's parents left. Tinku was really surprised. How is it possible? And where the muddy marks has vanished? Tinku insists that she had not fallen asleep, but it is hard to believe for Paro because there were no muddy mark on the carpet and the door was also closed. Then how Miri entered their house? Paro thought Miri must have fallen asleep and she must be dreaming. But Tinku was surprised. She was wondering where Miri and Shadow vanished suddenly. Where the muddy marks on the carpet gone? And where is the handkerchief gone? Everything vanished. Only a faint smell of eucalyptus oil lingers in the air. Children, now tell me, do you have any answer about it? Do you think it is as simple as it looks, or it has some kind of mystery in it? The hills, the remote cottage, the mist, and the rainfall, all these adds to the mystery of the setting of this play. Mary and Shadow entering the house without anyone hearing them coming, don't you think is a mystery? A doctor on a horseback whom no one knows, don't you think is a mystery? Miri and Shadow vanishing with the blink of an eye, don't you think is a mystery? Paro not finding muddy marks on the carpet, don't you think this is a mystery? No signs of Mary and Shadow anywhere in the house except the smell of an eucalyptus oil. Don't you think this is a big mystery? The mystery deepens with each question. It is because everything seems natural, yet it is not. The presence of Miri and Shadow in Tinku's house is not natural. They entered Tinku's house through a locked door. Children, do you think Tinku is a ghost and Shadow is a ghost dog? I'm leaving this thought onto you. Think and make your opinion about it.